My name is Max Reynolds from Lexington, Nebraska. I'm a rodeo Wild West show performer. I got started at a very early age. I grew up in a 4-H family and was in 4-H for as long as you could be in it. And of course, at our county fair in eastern Colorado, Cheyenne Wells, Colorado, they always had a RCA rodeo at that time, which is the same as PRCA now. And they'd always have specialty acts there, trained horses, trick riders, trick ropers, and that's always what always caught my eye when I was a little kid, looking through that fence out into the arena and watching them perform, and saw how the crowd reacted to it. And so I'd go home and to the farm and ranch, and I'd pick up a rope or see if I could duplicate what I'd seen them do there at the rodeo, and just kept working on it as much as I could, and one thing led to another, and over the years became an entertainer myself. I started, as far as the performing, I always was a contestant, in junior rodeos, 4-H rodeos, Little Britches rodeos. I competed in calf roping and rode barebacks and bulls and did most of the events except saddle bronc riding. But I'd already got started working on this entertaining part, and I think the first thing I ever performed at was a a talent contest. I mean, just a little old contest, and I think, if I remember right, it's called Trick Roping to Music, and basically just had some music. Of course, out there in the Quonset practicing, I never had any music, so I thought that was pretty catchy at that time. And that was my first performance, and then I kept practicing, and I was 15 years old when I performed at my first rodeo, and then I just progressed, up through college. I kept competing in the calf roping and team roping, and I got started performing a lot at that time. And then when I got out of college, I basically leaned more towards the entertainment than the competing, because it was more of a, for sure, paycheck. I kind of liked that a little bit better. So I just went from working the amateur shows and open shows, and I got my PRCA card in 96, 1990. No, it was 76. And so then I just kept working the PRCA and started working some Wild West shows back in the mid-90s, and worked rodeos and Wild West shows all over the United States, Canada. Been overseas to several different countries performing, and so up to the present day, and in between some of that, I've been a part of a couple movies. I was a stunt double for Peter Coyote in the 2-night miniseries on CBS called Buffalo Girls. Reba McEntire was Annie Oakley, and Peter Coyote was Buffalo Bill, and I was his stunt double in that movie. And so anyway, I've done a few things like that, and still working rodeos and Wild West shows, work corporate events, work parties and things like that. The first thing I ever did overseas was 1990, went to Helsinki, Finland for Jerome Robinson. It's called the Western American Extravaganza, and it was kind of a combination of rodeo and Wild West type entertainment. And so we did, I worked several of those shows for Jerome. 92 we went to Paris, France, and did the same thing there, and then 97 went to Venezuela, did a tour down there, and then been to Spain and did a tour there. Then I've done some other things overseas too, like I performed a birthday party for a little boy, the Sheik of Abu Dhabi, and his little boy was turning, I think it was 6 years old, but he had acquired a little handmade pair of cowboy boots from President Bush at that time, and so he was starting to grow into those boots, and the Sheik decided the little boy needed to have a Wild West cowboy style birthday party. So they flew me over there, and I found a couple horses over there. This trainer out in the desert from Abu Dhabi, he had a couple horses actually belonged to his boy that was a trick rider, and he was trying to learn how to Roman ride, and the horses would walk side by side, but that was it. So I went over about 8 days ahead of time and worked with those horses, and I didn't jump through fire or anything like that, but I did everything else and used those horses in this show that they was putting on for this little boy. But this was held at the Royal Stables in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, and 150 and I think it's 150 invited guests, and it was quite a little deal now. It's really interesting. It can vary. Generally working the same thing every night, because, and I have alternated, depends on the venue. Like if it's going to be the same people that are going to be there every night coming to this, like a little rodeo or something, a little town where most people are going to be the same every night, then change it up. But you kind of got to watch yourself on that, because say if I was Roman riding the first night and those people went home and told their neighbors, yeah, I saw that guy stand on top of those two horses jumping through fire, and then they come the next night to see that, and then you're out there doing something else, why, you know, hopefully you're still entertaining, but they'd be a little disappointed they didn't see the Roman riding. So I usually just stick with one thing and go through the, well, actually the Wild West show, in fact here at Burwell, they're doing a tribute to Buffalo Bill in the opening, and I portray Buffalo Bill in that, and this is the 100th anniversary of his death this year, and plus it's 150th birthday for Nebraska, and of course his ties to Nebraska, it all kind of worked together, so they're doing a small tribute to Buffalo Bill in the opening of each performance here. But the Wild West shows, basically you get thinking about it, Buffalo Bill, he took it over to Europe, all over the United States, and to Europe, and then he also had some, not only the entertainment as far as the trick ropers and Indian dancers and all that, but they had bronc riding and a few things like on the contest side, so you get thinking about it, he was pretty much the start of rodeos that it's led into today. But the Wild West shows that I've been performing in since the 90s, Don Inslee's Great American Wild West show is the main traveling Wild West show, and it's entertainment. You know, it's entertainment plus it's educational. You got your longhorns, the cattle drives, the Indian dancers, and there's always stories behind everything that's in that Wild West show. Did quite a bit of that in the 90s at the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. They have entertainment as well as their contest events. They usually end up having some openings, and then if they have any TV breaks or commercial breaks, they would have specialty acts come in and keep the people entertained while the commercial is going on. So I did a lot of that back in the 90s, and it's quite a show out there. It can be a little bit intimidating. I know it was the first time or two that I worked out there, and it can still be intimidating. You keep trying to tell yourself it's just another rodeo, but it isn't just another rodeo. And the adrenaline gets to pumping, and I guess that's the ultimate, is to be out there in Las Vegas and perform.